Now, back at the Nexus, so it's time to go to another new location. To the Archstone of Chieftain, Valley of Defilement. And I'd say this is the worst location of the entire game. Although, there are contestants for that. Because this is the toxic wasteland level. With all the expected unpleasantness. If this looks like Bike Down, it is because that is very familiar. And this is basically just all the place where all the filth of Boletaria winds up being dumped. So the foes around here are some sort of toxic monstrosities and all that. So the most preferable way of doing things around here, this place, because there's plenty of this kind of multiple levels of all kinds of places, it's just recommended to do best to just poke arrows to quite much anything and everything around here, because, well, luckily the primitive or the very early AI is quite forgetful about being shot at with arrows, so this kind of preemptive arrowing is, you could say, quite wise tactic. It does suck away arrows quite big time, but yeah, locals are maniacs who scream and try to stab you. Occasionally they tackle you as well. And there's all kinds of shoddy wooden structures around here as well. To be so, oh yeah, that guy had fallen. And if somebody is really good at this stage, they can blaze through all these catwalks and shoddy structures real quickly, using rolls and careful rollings and all that kind of fancy maneuverings. But I am not that familiar with this stage, especially in this kind of art style as well. Suffice to say, this is that level where falling down, gravity is much bigger threat than enemies, even though this place also has quite nasty enemies as well. But you could say that the game's design is, you could say that they expect you to go through the stages in specific order, which I haven't been doing. They would, of course, you first have to go to the gates of Boletaria to open the Nexus and all the other locations. But after that, then they would expect you to go to the next part of the gates of Boletaria. Then because there would be a dead end there, which I haven't shown, but I will eventually. Then you would go to the Stonefang tunnels, and defeat the Armor Spider. Then you would go to the Tower of Latria, and then to the Shrine of Storms, And then here, it would be like that. Then you would go to round 2 again, starting from the Stonefang tunnels and all that. It would be that kind of loop, ending with once again at the Bolotarian Palace, because that stage has longest amount of bosses and things in it. So much unpleasantness are in this stage. Plenty of death and destruction and pit drops down there. And the new graphical style makes those muddy, mottled enemies quite much harder to spot than they were. But they don't know how to climb ladders, which is both blessing and a curse. Blessing in a sense because, well, blessing in a sense because that way you can avoid them by climbing up, and curse because, well, they don't follow you, so you could quite easily nicely do an ambush to them. Alright, those things are quite much weak to fire. Good to know. But luckily their range of awareness was also quite short. Look at down. Yeah, it looks like that would be some sort of path to get down there, but I am not gonna try to push my luck to go through that one. Because this stage already is quite much of a something. Well, I don't like this stage. It's very dreary in visual design and all that, with very difficult to spot enemies, which at least in this case also were hiding inside this field of some sort of crop. Well, I've seen that all the filth also drops around here. It must mean that there must be some sort of plenty of fertilizing things, and you took an arrow to your knee. I guess that ended your adventuring career. Yeah, that's an old meme. He also seemed to have taken an arrow to his head, which did end more than his adventuring careers. It ended his life. Which, seeing the condition of this place, most likely wasn't that much of a downgrade of things. Then there's poison bugs. They are quite harmless looking, but they can make you. They have a nasty status affecting attack that you do not want to be at the receiving ends of it. Status attacks in this one are very dangerous. And I was killed. What did kill me? Well, gotta break the recording. And here I am, and I've been poisoned by these things. But being poisoned means, of course, that constantly taking damage, which is bad. Did I have the... Oh, yes I do have the antidote. Luckily game does give you some of these, but in this place it is much more wise to just liberally attack anything from afar. And there's a merchant.
You there? Won't you please buy something? My poor child is hungry.
Well, and she buys stuff, sells stuff. Mail armor, weaponry, all kinds of handy stuff. And poison arrows, which are very handy. So let's just buy all of them she has.
Finished already? My little one is a growing boy.
So she says she has a child in here, but then again it could be that she doesn't have any, and it's just a sales pitch she's throwing. And those rats look relatively harmless despite being a size of a puppy. They have real nasty status attacks, so killing them with ranged weaponry is highly recommended, as it is in practically about every other thing here as well. They get defeated from afar if you actually get an opportunity to do so. Now I got you. And that one opens up a little bit of a shortcut, but I really can't remember how to get there. Well, eventually it will happen. And there's a big enemy here as well. It's got a... It's as dangerous as it looks like, which in this game means a lot, because all things in this game are usually either more dangerous than they look like, or yeah, that club it wields does damage by truck. But luckily it was quite stupid. Yeah. And the amount of soul you get from killing that big rotten guy, or whatever is its name, is quite disproportionate to the level of danger it actually possesses, which is a very big danger. Although in here it doesn't possess that much danger because it was alone. And I do say that this stage is oh yeah, I say this is the well, this stage, Wall Valley of Defilement, the name is absolutely fitting to it. Oh shit, got confused. Where to go? Even momentary lapse of judgment about where to go and how to go may very much mean death in this game, which is quite... I don't like this kind of that severe, that kind of, you could say, trial and error gameplay. They went down because it is artificial gameplay challenge, making something you must try and fail, trial and error. Oh yeah, these things, they are capable of poisoning you. But luckily once you pop them out from their toxic shell or whatever it is, they are quite harmless indeed. So ranged attacks in Valley of Defilement, well, they are really potent. But ranged attacks everywhere in this game are very handy. One more of those. Big locals. Remain stupid. Just forget I'm here. Forget the maniac with an arrow. Or there's a bow. There's... you could say that the worst part of this stage is not, well... is not so much in level of difficulty, even though this is quite a difficult stage, not the worst stage, but it's the awful amount of backtracking, because it can't be done real fast. It has to be done in a slow and methodical manner, carefully, one step at a time, trying out every step where it goes, and systematically just eradicating every foe you face on your path, just to make sure that they don't suddenly attack you from behind, or generally just be really bad for you. And there's a boss door around here, so I'm equipping myself with arrows, fire arrows specifically, because many bosses of Valley of Defilement can actually be cheesed. Actually, yeah. There's 3 bosses in here, and 2 of them can easily be cheesed. And I have the best weapon for this purpose. Ooh. That's real unpleasant looking. It's called Leechmonger. It's a monster which can regenerate itself, sucking leeches in. But luckily, unfortunately for that, I have fire shooting arrows. Meaning I can most likely outpace its healing with my arrows. And hopefully I don't run out of fire arrows before that happens, because if I do, I have to get... Because if I do run out of arrows, I have to get up close and personal with that thing, which I'm not particularly keen to do. Come on. Can I I guess I have to, or try to. To get up close and personal with it. Yeah, it does these big swingy globby attacks. Oh yeah. It sprays, makes a big swingy spray crazy. Throws around shit. But luckily I took it down fair and square, even though I did show the cheating method. The archery controls in this one feel quite wonky, as in the arrow shooting wasn't as fast as it could have been. But with this little feat of, I don't know what you would call it, all kinds of arrow upgrade materials here as well, some grasses for Jonathan Herald to chew. And the first phase of Valley of Defilement has been done. And there's the Archstone with Writhing Demon Soul. And with this, it's time to end this episode right here. See you next time. I don't know where that might be. But see ya. Remember to subscribe and all that.